If you would like to check out all of my sounds, samples, and presets, all links are in the bio. Alright guys, welcome back to another video. This one is pretty typical of mine, how the first drop idea sounds a lot different from the main idea, which you guys heard in the preview, but this one did have potential, but I just didn't know which direction to take it. You'll see how the first idea, didn't sound bad or anything, but the idea just wasn't completely there. But I worked on it for 7 more hours after I stopped recording, so the first half will be the initial idea that I was making, and then the second half will be the breakdown of the new drop, okay? So let's get into it. All right, so this one's just like a little idea so far, but the purpose of this is going to be building out a drop, and I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I wanted to make something that kind of made sense to this, because I don't think this would be a good drop melody. The way I wrote this was similar to Mesto's, so I watched this video of Mesto from Back's music, and the way he just writes his progressions is interesting to me. So how I started this was I started with a bass line, and I had an idea of what notes I was going to use. So you start off with that. You start off with the rhythm, and you just kind of build. You just build up from that. Then I had like a melody on top of this. It's almost too uplifting because it ends on that one. I feel like we can maybe put this chord in. I might just keep it. Not too sure yet, but let's just see what we could do. All right, we'll save that one for later, but we're gonna just make like a quick bouncy sub. And then we might as well layer this one on top. So a quick little mid bass layer. And here's the thing, like I know I need to add a lot more, which I could just do a little later, but the melody is going to be the most important thing, especially for this type of song. We're just going to try some different variations on the melody with the same rhythm. Oh, we're back in the project here, and this one took a little bit. I think I stopped recording and worked on it for like 7 more hours, but you guys can see it says lead number 11, which I was just trying so many different leads and just different ways to get the drop going. And this drop sounds completely different from before. I wanted to have a bridge between this uplifting verse. Just imagine this lead melody being like vocal or something, and then when the build up comes, it's just that one re-spaced note. So yeah, everything in the drop is just in this square. And this drop just has the main elements for the most part. So we have the lead, and then drums, bass, then some like little stabs and effects down here. Now this lead is 4 layers. So we got that lost U lead again. It has that flute type of vibe. But then I have that duplicated down an octave as well. Just makes it really full. And then I have this dirty vital layer. I just made it real quickly. It's just a saw wave with a little bit of FM and probably some distortion, yeah. And this is that Mesto flute from the Dirty Flute video from the Limitless. This is that preset. Really nice lead. And then all together. And you'll see down here as well, I have some vocal chop layers, which they come in occasionally. And this one is playing a counter melody. It just goes really well with the actual. Gives it that darker vibe too, which is exactly what I was going for. And for the lead processing, it's just some flood overdrive, OTT, EQ. Nothing too crazy, but you have to remember that the most important thing for the lead layering is still going to be the source of the sound that the sound comes from. So just keep that in mind when you do process things, that the most important thing is still going to be the source, but the processing can make it come alive. Because if I mute this, we obviously lose the bounce from the kickstart, but and then I have a fruity balance being automated, which is just a volume if you guys aren't familiar with that in FL Studio, and it gives it more of a humanistic feel. You can't really do that with the MIDI because I'm basically changing the volume envelope for each note for how I want it to be. So without it, and in the song, it kind of sounds okay. It doesn't have the same feel by any means, and it does take some time, but I think it is worth it in the long run. We got the bass layers down here. So this one's that wide layer, then a sub underneath of that, just a little square sub, and then just a little FM bass from Prevail. And that's just going to give it a little bit of that extra click and just help that mid-range of the bass. And then just a little chord fill. This is just a silent preset. And then below all that is just some miscellaneous effects, so a little stab. This is just the tremor preset from Vital. And then just some miscellaneous stuff too. Reverses. And just for reference, I did clone the original arrangement. You can see how there's just stuff grayed out everywhere here. A lot of different melodies going on, this and that. Oh yeah, one little thing I forgot to mention is the whistle over here. So I just brought in a whistle for the second half. Just a little sample. All right, guys, that'll wrap this one up. If you guys enjoyed it, let me know down below, and let's go to the full playthrough.